Any questions so far? Any little contribution? Anybody want to say anything? It's very interesting, isn't it? You guys have to believe and trust what I'm telling you, that it's going to come to you. Don't worry. Don't get discouraged. This is real talk. Okay. You guys are definitely, you're getting it. It takes a little bit of time, but once you get it, it's on. There's nothing you could, let me see. Where did I put it? Share it again. Oh, here it is. All right, here you go. All right. So those are all the different things about the language and how it works. Okay. So again, takath. And where does it come from? The concrete of it is under the lower or the bottom part of something. As an under, okay, part is divided from that which is above. So we can see that the Holy One of Israel makes a clear distinction between those things that are above and those things that are beneath. And in each one of those areas, things work differently. And under that which is under the water does not live like that which is above. Everything has its own space. Like the birds don't live like the fish. They don't live. They're two different species. Okay. So you can see the power in the Holy One of Israel. He has things living in the air and floating and flying in the air. He has things that live in underneath the sea. There's a whole nother world that you and I are unaware of that have never been really discovered by us. Okay. Well, we can see that Yah is using this word because it's dealing with that which Yah has made under the water. Yah handles everything that's made above and beneath and in between. So Elohim made the dome, which is the Harakia, okay? And he divided, he Havdel, the Hamayim, from what? Takath. Takath means under. Takath what? The Harakia. Meh, meaning from. See, that word from right here is a letter mem. That's all it is. And this is a letter hey. That's all it is. So the Hebrew language is getting rid of all these letters and just giving you one letter. It's a very dense language. It doesn't waste a whole bunch of time with a whole bunch of words. You understand? So instead of him saying T-H-E, he says ha. See, he doesn't put extra on. He gets right to it. Okay. Mayim. And above, which is all. All right. And then the is what? How you say the? Just tell me the letter.
Hey.
There you go. There's a hey. There's a great exercise. Praise the Holy One of Israel. Let's do it again. Elohim. Okay. You don't expect you to remember it, but you should. Elohim. Okay. He made. Okay. So he is Sa. Saw what? Just give me the letter.
Ha.
Aha, which is a hey. Thank you. The dome, what you call the dome?
Rakia.
That's your girlfriend, Raquia. Okay. Raquia. And then, and it's a tent peg. So why would I say that?
And
how you say it? Wah. Represented by one letter, and he divided, which is Havdil. Give you guys that because that's a tough one. It took me a long time. The is what? What's represented by the? What letter?
The hey.
The hey. Thank you. How do you say water?
Mayim.
That's right. I don't want anybody to say water in English anymore. It's Mayim. How do you say under?
Takath.
There you go. Ta. Kath. There you go. Takath. What's the next one? Ha. With that letter A, here's Raquia. From is a mem. That's it. That's it. How you say the?
Ha.
Ah.
Hey.
Hey, there you go. That hey is the name of the letter, but how do you say it? You say ha. But you just use the letter hey. So hey is the actual name of the letter, but the sound is ha. So ha, what? How do you say water?
Mayim.
Mayim.
Okay, so ha, mayim. So if you want to say the water, you would say what?
Hamayim.
Hamayim.
If I want to say the Father, I would say what?
Ha'av.
Yes. If I want to say let me give you an easy one. I want to say the Shabbat. What I say?
HaShabbat.
Ha Shabbat. If I want to say day, how would I say the day?
Hayom.
Hayom.
Hayom. See, so now you speak Hebrew. Tell everybody I speak Hebrew. That's what I want you to don't say I'm learning. I speak it because you're speaking it right now. Above is easy. It's called all. And above means upon. So, all. And that's a preposition, by the way. Okay. All. Not ALL, just a regular all. Okay. It means upon. And we got the ha again with the letter hey called ha and the raquia. And then that, how do you say that?
Asher.
Asher. And what is Asher? What type of, if you were to make it into something, what would you make it into? If you were to use it, well, how'd you use it?
As a rope.
A rope. There you go. Because a rope is to make things straight. Okay. And it's to tie things together. So it's tying phrases together. It's how it was, which is, this is how it existed, which is what? How do you say to be or to exist?
Haya.
Haya. The reason why you say that is because you like that word. I know you like that word because the way that you say it. You only say the stuff that you like. Haya. Because why? Because if you look at Yahweh's name, it is Yo, Hey, Wah, Hey. The root of this word is this word right here. Okay. But they also take it and replace it sometimes with the actual parent root or two Heys. They can either put a yod in there or they can put a y in there, and they both mean the same thing. It means to exist or to be. So Yahweh's name has to be he, the one who exists. So Haya is a hey and a yod and another hey. You put this, it's called Yeh. You put a wall in there, it's called Yahweh. Same thing, means he exists or it exists. Okay. That's what this is about. It's not hard. All it takes is time. So you're adding words to your vocabulary. You're adding understanding to prepositions. You got to know what a preposition is. You have to know what a verb is. You got to know what a noun is. There's nothing wrong with that. Here you go. So why ya'as Elohim et hadrakia Vayavdel Bain Hamayim Asher de Mitakaf the Ladrakia de Uvein Hamayim Asher me all Ladrakia de Wahi Bain or came, excuse me, why he came. And he made Elohim the Et Hadrakia. He made the sky, which is the dome, and he divided between the Hamayim, which is the water, which Asher de Mitikat, from between the Ladrakia and the Uvain, in between the Hamayim, the water, that Asher de Meol, the Ladrakia, is the way he came. Woo. So here's our word Cain. How people say all the time, Cain, Cain, Cain. The Hebrew people I hear like Cain. Meaning, yes, it happened. It is. It's so. So it happened. Cain. They use it for the word yes sometimes. Yeah, like that's true, Cain. So it happened. I mean, so thus it happened. Now that's why he uses it at the end of his words. Why he came. Why he came, and it happened. It was so, and it happened because it cannot exist. You understand? Anything that exists, okay, which you don't see it right here, but if you know the language and you break it down, you'd be like, and he or it existed. They just dropped the hey off. Why? Because in the Hebrew language, if you add a letter to, and just a side note, if you add a letter, like here's the word haya, which is to exist. If I add a letter to the front of this word, which in this case is this yod right here, like this letter drops off. That's just a rule. So you'll see that happen a lot. You saw it right here. Here's the proof. Let me show you the proof. The proof is in the pudding right here. This word up here is a ayin, a shin, which has the S over here, S sound versus the SH sound. And it comes with the hey, a sa, excuse me. Move this out the way right quick. A hey, okay? So this is a sa. This is what this word really supposed to say. The moment that they put this yod on the front of that word, the hey drops off. It's not going to go ya asa. It's going to go ya as. Okay. It's just a word. It's a formula, which I'll teach you that when we get to the grammar. So you'll see words like, why ya asing, like, I don't know what that word is. Well, if you break the word down and like, okay, segment that's and, oh, that's he. Oh, that's as. Oh, that's the word asa. Oh, but because I added the yod, they dropped the hey off. Oh, okay, I got it now. All right, and then Elohim, okay, then Eth and Hadrakuya, okay, and then we got Wayavdel, okay, and then we go on and you say, oh, Hamayim, okay, well, Mayim is still intact, that's fine. The water, which or that I share, okay. Oh, they add a preposition that means from. Oh, from under. Oh, to or for the Raquia. Oh, for the dome, and between the water. Okay. Which or that from upon to for the raquia. And it or he existed. And because it existed, it means it was so or it happened. Without Yah making something exist, it never, ever happens. What Yah is telling us this, okay, is that even when he says that it existed, the only reason why it existed is because of Cain. Because it was so, because this is part of Yahweh's name. There's the hey, there's the yod, it comes with an a hey, that is exist. As soon as you put that yod there, that means his hand made it happen. And that, because his hand was on it, it was so, and it came to pass. Every day that you and I see has been because of this. Everything that you and I experience is because of him. It's because of what he's made happen. You understand? So that's what you and I, he wants us to know. And the reason why he wants us to know this is because there's somebody else who's going to come and say that they did it in the book of Colossians. Somebody else is going to come and say that they created everything. And you would believe it. When Yah says that I have done this alone and there was nobody with me. And the language tells us that he was alone. This right here, these yods that you see at the beginning of these words right here, Havdil and all these things, these yods, that's his hand. A yod that's in the middle of a word is not a hand in that sense. The yod has to become at the front. A yod at the front of any root word lets you know that it's he. That's what it is. And it's singular, and it's third person masculine singular. Okay. So the he here is pointing to Elohim. So the im right here, people say that's many gods. It's plural. Yeah, it is plural. But according to this, the actual subject of who's going to do the action. Let's see what happened here. Let's see. Something's wrong. There you go. Stop the share. Something happened. Hate when that happens because it throws you off a little bit. All right. where I stopped off was telling you every time you see this yod, okay, it's telling you it's a third person masculine singular. Okay. It's going to tell you who the subject is, who's doing the action, because the asa is the verb, but inside of the verb is letting you know who it is. It's a third person masculine, and it tells you next who that person is, and that's this one, Elohim. So when he says that that he created Elohim, bara means he himself has done this. Okay, he's done this himself. So he's letting us know this because he knows that someone's going to come later and say that they're the ones who created it. And if you look in the book of Isaiah, he tells you all the time, I'm the only person who's ever done this. There's been nobody with me when I did this. There was no other person with Yah. Person, entity, power. Well, you could say, well, it says in the book of Proverbs that wisdom was with him. She was with him. He created wisdom. He created wisdom. There was no one with him. He created her. She's recognized as feminine. He created her. She didn't create him. Okay. This root Cain comes from, or the Kaf and the Nun, to stand. To stand. Okay. And it means root. So you can see the Shoresh means root. This means root. There's other words that have the same thing. It means to be sure. But it also too comes from the word for Kohen, okay, which this is the actual name of that for stability. So the Kaf represents an open palm. That's what that first letter is. You notice we keep talking about the same stuff, the palm of the hand, an open palm. The letter Nun represents a seed out of the ground, okay? You combine these, it means opening of a seed. And that's what you do. You do in your hand. When the seed opens, the roots begin to form the base of the plant by going down into the soil. The plant rises up out of the ground, forming the stalk of the plant. A tall tree can only stand tall and firm because of its strong root system, which supports it. Okay. Now let me bring some more understanding here. It's deeper than this. This is the same word that's used for what I said earlier, the word for Kohanim. Okay. Which is the Kaf right here as a C and the Nun right here. They are the foundation of the community of Israel. And he chose a family, the family of Lewi, to be the foundation. Okay. Yah is saying, I planted this in particular family into the ground so they could be the root system, so they could teach the children of Israel, so we can establish a way that we're going to do business, the way that we're going to live. Okay. And I'm going to have them plant themselves into the ground. Listen, so other people can come from them. And the individuals that come to them, they have to understand that these individuals, the Kohanim, which are called priests, they're going to have to be firm. Okay. They're going to have to be firm, and they got to be firm and strong about what I said. And if they're shaky, the tree will be shaky. In order to grow a strong tree, you have to have a very strong root system. Okay. And it which supports it. So the Levi'im are literally like the root system of the children of Israel. They're the ones who Yah chose to be the roots of the family. Okay. To get the teaching, because they had a great desire towards the Holy One of Israel. They were willing to take out anybody who was against him. Okay. So listen, now, if you pay careful attention to what I say, and you keep my covenant, and you will be my own treasure from among all the peoples, for all the earth is mine. This is found in Shemot, okay, chapter number 19, I believe. Yes, it is in chapter number 19. He says, and you will be a kingdom of Kohanim for me. That's where you'll be a root system for me. Okay. Yah is going to ultimately turn the whole entire nation of Israel into a kingdom of people who are like Kohanim. And he says this, and I believe in Isaiah. Matter of fact, I don't have it in front of me, but it's in Isaiah chapter number 60 or 50 something. He says that all of you are going to be Kohanim, okay, to me. You're going to be a Kohanim. You're going to be a priest to me, a nation set apart, a nation that's, when we learned our word today, which is called, does anybody remember what set apart is? Remember how to say set apart?
Kodesh.
Kodesh. Okay. So that's what the goal is. The goal is to be this. And the only way you can be this right here is if you're this. And he says the whole earth is mine. So I'm taking you and I'm going to set you. So what you're going to be now is called a root system for the whole entire world. That's why they're going to come up to Jerusalem and learn my ways. And that's why they're going to take a hold of you and say, take me to go see the king. This is when the nations are going to recognize who you are, is when you're set apart for me as these people. Okay. You're a nation that's set apart, a holy nation, a Kodosh nation, not holy, excuse me. Let me take that out of my mouth. I got to get rid of that word holy. It doesn't exist. It's Kodosh or Kodesh. Okay. These are the words that you're to speak to the people of Israel. This was part of the marriage offering that he told them. This is what he said. If you pay careful attention to what I say, and guard my covenant, then you will be my own treasure, my segula, me, from all the hamayim. For what? La call. Look, la call. That's all this is. The letter lamed, all called. La call what? Somebody tell me what that is. Tell me.
Ha.
How do you say earth? That was one of your words.
Eretz.
Eretz, there you go. So far we got, look, la kol haaretz is mine. He says the li to me. More than likely it's probably li, okay? And we can read that a little bit later, okay? But li means to me. Li means my. A lamed and a mem. Excuse me, a lamed and a yod. Okay, in English it would be this: li, le. The L is to and the I is me. Okay, le. That means mine. Okay, and you. How do you say and? How do you say and?
Wa.
Wah. Okay, and you, meaning to probably lakim, you or a ta, will be. What's will? Will be what? How do you say will be?
Haya.
Haya. Okay, so more than likely to be ye, but haya is the root word. So ye, what? There is no letter for a or word for a. Okay, and this is called a I think it's mamlaketh. So mamlaketh. There is no word for of kohanim. Okay, la to li for me. Okay, ele. There is no word for R. There's ele, eleha, davarim, etem, okay, or etkem, to la, speak, davar, to lamed, that's the lamed again, ha what? Ha because the people are and there's no of, and then Yisrael. Verse number 6. You guys already know how to read, and you just don't know it because you're not familiar with it. You just haven't done it enough. Okay. So let me show you something so you can be encouraged. Let's see what it says right here. That was the offer. This is Shemot, chapter number 19. Bible Hub is your best friend for right now. You're going to go to verse number 6. And let's read what it says. Here it is. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Here it is. Oh. And Wayatem and you, Thiu, talking in plural. 1961. If you take that word Thiu right there and I go right here and click on it, it's going to say Haya. Watch this. Uh-oh, Haya. That's Haya right there. A hey, a yod, and a hey right there. It's a verb. That's why I'm teaching you this word. It's in Genesis that you saw, that you're seeing, but it's all over the place. It's used all over the place. As you can see on the right-hand side, it's in Genesis 1 and 2. Look, the first time it's mentioned right here. Right here. Right here. Right here. Right here. Genesis, 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 all over the place. That's why I'm teaching you the word. Because once you learn it, you go to your neck, you'll go to another thing and be like, oh, I know what that is. Look at all the places in Genesis. It's in verse number 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 13, 13, 14. It's all over the place. Okay. That's where the first time you've seen it. That's why we're going over it. Haya. And here it is already in Exodus. It tells you. And the difference between Haya and this word right here is talking to a group of people, and the grammar on it is you right here. Ooh, right here. This is the grammar. This tav right here and this right here were added. They just add letters to the root. That's all. And once you add a letter to the root, like I told you, the H that was right here, the hey that was here dropped, and it became this because they made it into grammatically to speak to the fact that it's talking to multiple people. Here again, preposition. Here's the lamed. I told you that's a prep. Here it is right here. That means two right here. That's the lamed. That's what that lamed represents. The reason why it's two is because it's a staff. It's a shepherd's staff. So as a staff, it's going to take you to somewhere for something, okay? That's why it makes sense. And the yod on the end is me. So le, not li, not li, it's le. What's going on? This thing is tripping. All right. Here it is, mamlaketh. As I told you, mamlaketh. Of what? A kohanim. What's the root? Click it. Here's the root. Kohen. See? It's a priest. Okay. But its parent root is the word that you and I just got from the word Cain. This comes from the Kaf and the Nun, which means so it happened. But it's beyond it happened. It means that it is the root. It is the base. It's the foundation. So when Yah's talking to us about creation, he's letting us know how everything was built. The foundation of the world came to how it was and how it was all put in order. And he's invited Israel to this experience. So we would know who our Elohim is. So when someone else tries to take credit for it, whether it be another man or it would be some other God, they say that they created it, you would be able to say no. You would say, lo, that did not happen. According to what Yahweh says, this is what happened. You see? You won't believe in the Greek gods of Poseidon and all these other, y'all forgive me for mentioning their names, all these other Elohims that people are calling upon and saying that they're the ones, okay? So that's what it means. And once you learn the language, you'll get it. You'll really start to begin to understand what he's saying. All the pieces of the puzzle come together. Here's the lagoi. And again, I told you that there is no word holy. Let's get that out of there. It's called Kwadosh. Kwadosh, okay? Quadosh. Ele. Oh, here it is. As she said, how do you say the words? Here it is. The is ha right here. Ha. And words, word right here is davar, and then the eem right here is the plurality. So it gives you, that's the S right there. The eem is there. So davar is word, and then the S is the eem. So davarim. Here's our other word, asher, which is the rope. That's going to tie this to this. Okay. To who? Here's a strong staff that Yah is using to guide the people. I need you to take these words that I have had, the Tad the Bayar, El. I need you to shoot these to the sons of Israel. These are the Ele. Bring this to them. Okay. And again, just to kind of backtrack a little bit, there was in verse number 5, we had said these words. Here's the word le, to, mine, le. Told you. There it is. Call. What? The. That's that, hey. Aretz. Right there, earth. That's it. You're just putting the pieces of the puzzle together. I'm laying down the pieces. And then you're going to pick the pieces up and you'll start being able to put them together. Okay. Why is it from? Me, right here, a letter M. That means from, not above all, from all. Right here, preposition mem, from, call, all. Right there, people, the people, not a people, the people, article. Yes, Condra.
Are you on Bible Hub?
Yes.
Because we can't see your screen.
You can't see my, okay. Oh no. Okay, that's not fair. I thought the whole time. Look at that. I'm sorry. Thank you for saying. Can you see it? Let me see. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. So here it is. Preposition mem. Right here. Mem. That means from. Call, all. Right here. The. That's that hey article. Who? People. Okay. Then when you put the eem on in minute, it's the peoples. Okay. So I have, to me, you're going to be a special segula. Le segula mikol hamamayim. Okay. And here's our word, haya, right here, but he says it in this way. Weyithim. You say, well, that doesn't sound like haya. Well, because they added stuff to it. They added a conjunction, which is this. They added the tem, which is talking about plural of them, the second person plurality, talking about to a group of people. So we'll put these pieces of the puzzle together for you guys, and then you'll be able to get it. It's just a puzzle. That's all it is. So you'll learn what these words are. Okay. Like you learn what the word ki is right here. Here it is. We learn this word ki. You'll see that often as well. So and this is in a whole nother book. This is not even in Genesis. See, so you'll see a lot of these same words being used over and over and over and over again. Okay. Let me share something else. We'll close out. Can you see our screen where it says Elohim made the dome? Do you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So Elohim, he Ya'asa, the Hadrakia, and the Wa, Havdel, the Hamayim, the Mitakoth, the Havrakia, the Min, the Hamayim, the All Harakuya, and Wahi came. That's how it was. So you see, I was able to read it in Hebrew and looking at it in English because I already know what these words are. I know a made is a sa, but I just read a sa, Ya'as, Elohim Ya'as, or it says Ya'as Elohim. So you notice in English how they switch it around. Instead of just saying made first, they say Elohim first. And then they said he made. Because in English, that's how you understand things. You understand by putting the subject and then the verb. In the Hebrew, it's just the opposite. It's usually will be the verb and then and inside of our verb, it would say he. Lets us know who this is talking about. The dome. Ha. Raquia. You see, wa, Havdil, ha, mayim, tikath, ha, raquia, me, ha, mayim, all, ha, raquia, wahi. What? What is this? It was. Last word that we learned.
Is it Haya?
That's Cain. Wait a minute. I think it was. And that's how it was. Oh, that's how it happened. This is an English translation problem. It's really Cain, which I thought it was. It is Cain. Okay. And it existed as so, or so it happened. So you can see that the Hebrew and the English translations are going to be slightly different. Okay. Wa ya as Elohim eth ha ra qui a wa ya del bain ha ma yim a sher mit ta kath la ra qui a u vain ha ma yim a share ma me all la ra qui a wa he came. Okay, so you can see that it's always going to be syllabified, like wa ya as. That's 3 syllables. I'll say the word, you telling me how many syllables it has, because it's all about syllables. And when you read, you should read slow first until you get your syllables down. So when you syllabify, so why ya as? How many syllables did I say?
3.
3. Elohim.
3.
Eth.
1.
Ha ra qui a.
4.
Why yavdel.
3.
3.
Bain.
1.
Ha ma yim.
3.
Thank you. A share.
2.
Mit ta kath.
3.
La ra qui a.
4.
U vain.
2.
Ha ma yim.
3.
A share.
2.
May all.
2.
2.
La ra quia.
4.
Wahi
2.
2.
Cain.
1.
Now, the reason why I had us go through the exercise is to let you know that sometimes you're going to have a 1 or a 2, even though, look, check this out. Did you notice that on some of the 3s, like for example, no, the 2s and the 1s, these have 3 letters, but there was only 1 syllable. This one has 3 letters, 1, 2, 3, but it has 2 syllables. This has 4 letters over here, but it has 3 syllables. This has 5 letters, but yet it's still 3 syllables. You see, this has 3 letters, but it has 1 syllable. This has 2 letters, but it's 1 syllable. Raquia has 5, but it has 4 syllable. You see, here's another 5 right here with 3 syllables. So you can see the combinations can change. It doesn't, the syllabification and the number of letters doesn't determine what the syllabification is. So that's part of the game. Okay. Here's a 4 letter with a 3 syllable. You see? So things change. You can have 3 letters in two syllables. You can have 3 letters in 1 syllable. It just Cain. It just doesn't matter. 2 letters, 1 syllable. You see? So you can see that the way that you're going to speak this is going to be different. Okay. And the reason why that happens is because the way that it's vowed. That's what it is, which we'll get to way later. Which you're building upon this. I just wanted to share that with you so you can like, okay, well, everything is not going to be so easy if it's because I thought, well, surely it's 5 letters. Every 5 letters will have the same type of sound. That's how I thought it was going to be, and it didn't turn out to be like that. So I was kind of like, okay. And so listen, we're going to stop right here at Shani. That's where we're going to stop. Because we just finished Cain. Why hit Cain? Okay. Why ya'as Elohim ne'etahal rakuya? Why v'yadel bein hamayim asher mitakath delal rakuya? The uvein hamamayim yasher nemeol lal rakuya. And the why he came. Okay. Question. When I say Elohim, what picture do you think about? What's the picture? What's the picture? What does his name mean?
All power.
He's all power. So what picture did we have for all powers? You guys remember?
I don't.
This is okay. So this is the reason why we're going to go and you're going to look at that picture. Okay. Because I want you to remember what the pictures are, because the pictures are going to help you remember how to say his name. Trust me, because you'll never forget it. Okay. If you remember the picture, you're not going to worry. It will not be anything to you. You got to remember the picture. Okay. That's the picture. Water, fire, everything. He's the power of everything. The sun, every power force on the face of this earth. So every time you say his name, Elohim, you know. That's why it's called the power of powers. The power of the sky, the power of the clouds, the power of fire, the power of water, the power of the moon, the stars, the dry land, the power that comes out of the earth, the fruits and the vegetables, the power for the springtime for things to blossom, the power. Yah gives everything its power. That's who we're dealing with. Okay. You talk about the Shamayim. You think about, you're not on this abstract term anymore. You're not talking about heaven somewhere where you can't see. You're talking about the heavens that you see in the sky, called the Shamayim. The clouds, you understand, they're part of it. The water that's above the waters, you see that. I say Eretz, you should know that has to do with land. So when you put Elohim and Shamayim and Eretz together, you start seeing this picture of this mighty one who's in charge of the Shamayim, who's in charge of the Eretz, who's in charge of the growth and development of the things you see. You see the water in this picture. Exists. Time cannot exist without Yah. That's why I put a calendar there. Nothing exists without him. Nothing could ever happen without him. Koshek is easy. It's super dark. Nothing to be seen. Blackness. Void. Okay. All upon. Something that's on something. Upon or above. Okay. Panim. The faces. You got all different types of faces. That's what you got to remember. Ruach, the wind, the breath. The wind is blowing. That's the breath. The Ruach is not some imaginary spirit. It's real. Just like the wind. Okay. Mayim. You and I drink it every single day. This should be part of our vernacular, part of our conversation. Mayim. Names, make them your friends. You need it. Think about the water, Mayim. Of course, to say something, Amar, not a big deal. Okay. So we've gone over these different things, but I wanted you to remember Elohim more specifically because he's in charge of literally everything. Okay. Everything he's in charge of. So that's your class for today. Thank you guys for coming and sharing. Continue to do your work. Continue to read your little blue book that I sent you. Continue to go over that. And believe me, you guys are going to get it. Any
What is
questions?
the blue? What is the blue book?
It's a blue book called Learning How to Read Biblical Hebrew.
Oh, okay.
I think I sent it to you. Yeah.
You send it
How
to
to
me?
read, yeah, learning how to read biblical Hebrew. So you can learn how to read your vowels, you can learn how to read your consonants, and you can learn the basics of how to read. Because once you learn the letters, then you begin to read. And once you read, you can put some words. So it first starts off with a letter, then you have to get the vowel, and then you can make the sound. Then once you make the sound, you
Right.
can read a word, and then once you meet a word, then you can go to the sentences. But once you find out how to read, you be like, okay, I'm satisfied, I can read, but what did I just read? Well, then you got to know your roots. So I'm teaching you the roots so you will know what Mayim is. You know what Elohim is. You know what Shamayim is. You know what Yom is. You know what Or is. You know what light is. You know what Koshek is. You know what all is. You know what Panim is. You understand all these roots. And then we're putting seeds into the ground. And then once those seeds are developed and they're established and they're cane, and so it happened, then you have a foundation to work from because that's the root. All right. So that's why we're going over the roots.
Okay. Can you you see when you're using the kamats and the patak,
Oh,
how do you when you're
how do you-
using the kamats and the patak, how do you know which one to use? What is the how do you know which one to use since they make the same sound?
Oh, well, of course, like you said, they both have the same sound, which is one's long, one's short. Okay. The patak is means open. Okay. And the kamats is one who's really close because it's a longer sound. So the longer the sound, that means that you can't say the next word. The shorter it is, it leaves it open for you to say the next letter. That's all you can remember about that. Two distinct different symbols. Okay. Same sound, one's long, one's short. But your question is, when should you use it? Well, according to the way that it's written in the Masoretic text, it usually uses the long one when describing the verb before it's even changed. It's in its first form. It's in its perfect form. And also too, it's in its very simple form, which that's a whole nother deal. That's a whole nother study that deals with grammar. And we have to spend a lot of time with that. I don't like to,
Can you give me an
huh?
example?
What's that?
Can you give me an example?
Of
An
of the
example.
oh, okay. So
You said
let's
uses
look at let's look at it like this. When you got the word shamar, okay,
okay.
shamar, okay. I'll write it up here right quick. So I'll give you guys some insight on it. So, for example, you got the shin, and then you got the mem, and then you got the resh. Okay. So you ask yourself, if it's this, it's going to be this, and it's going to be that. Okay. What's going to happen is you're never going to see this and then this later. You're never going to see that. You're never going to see that. Okay. Generally, what you're going to see is you're going to see this and this. Anytime you have a long sound, okay, you got to say that by itself. And then when I say that this right here is open, what I mean by that is saying that when you make this sound, and this is ah, and then because this is an open sound, because it's shorter, then you can add the R sound to it. So this becomes one word. Open means that it is a consonant vowel. Okay. That's open. Okay. And because this vowel right here makes it open, I can then say this next consonant. If I had another vowel underneath here, I couldn't say that. Okay. And it's a whole nother study. It takes a long time.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
But the idea is this, what we're learning, Akoti, what I'm trying to teach you is, I want to teach you what they would call just the roots right now. After I finish the roots and I tell you what the 3-letter roots are, okay, 3 letters. Once you get the roots down, right? Then after you plant these little seeds, then you're going to go ahead and into the ground. Okay, here's the ground. You're going to plant these roots, little seeds. Once we plant those, eventually the stem is going to come up and it's going to start bearing some fruit and it's going to start growing. But you got to plant the seeds first. So the part that you're talking about, and I just want to make everybody understand. And so she's a little advanced because she knows how to read. She already knows how to do it. Okay. Remember we talked about the cane. The cane means that once you plant these roots and these seeds, they go down and the root system comes down here. Once the stalk starts to grow, like the foundation, like starts to grow into a plant like this,
Mhm.
that particular stalk is called a stem. Okay. Once the stem comes out of the ground, then you're starting to have some leaves on it, like you see right here. After it goes through that process of having that, then you're going to start seeing some little knots, some little knobs on it. Okay. Then after that goes through a process, then you're going to begin to see what they would call some development into what we would call fruit. Then the fruit will start growing and then it would misplace these things and the fruits will start coming. Okay. So what we're doing right now is we're in a root system. See? And if we haven't even got to the stalk and the stem in the Hebrew is called the verb system.
Right.
And then once you get the stems, okay, and once the stems start growing, then I can start talking, then you can be more fruitful. Right now, we're on the foundation. I'm looking at the foundation of the language. The foundation of the language is its roots. Once you find out the roots and you plant it, you got to give it time to grow. Once the stem comes out, which is called the verbal stem, which you have 7 of them, which are the simple actions, the forceful action, the causative action, and the reflexive action. And each one of these actions have either a active way of happening or it has a passive way of happening. Either one. Okay. So that's why it's 7, because the simple has either active or passive. The forceful has an active or passive. The causative, you can be actively doing it or it can passively happen to you. And this one right here, the reflexive is active and passive, both at the same time. So this is really 2. This is 2. This is 2. That's 6. And the last one is 1. The 7. The 7 stems. And they all have names. Their names are not simple, forceful, and causative. Their names are called different names. Okay. Which when you get your stems, then you'll understand what those verbal stems are. But we're not going to teach that until we get to the point of going back and learning the root system. Once we learn the root system right here, which is your Sheresh, then we're going to go and then you're going to start growing. The stems are going to come out. That's how it's going to happen. See, what I did do is I gave you the book that gives you the consonants and the vowels. These are your seeds that you need to know. Once I gave you your seeds, now you and I are going to put those seeds together in the roots and plant them in the ground. And then this in particular tree right here is going to be the Asa tree. This other particular tree right here is going to be the Mayin tree. Then I'm going to teach you how to add, when you get your stem, how to add to the Mayin and how to add to these other things. And then you'll be like, okay, now the tree, okay, now that it's growing up, it's not going to stay little like a little flower. It's going to grow up. And then once it grows up, what happens when you grow something? It becomes a what? It becomes a tree. And then once you develop your tree, then it becomes something that people can actually eat from and enjoy. Here it is. Okay. Coming out of the ground, root system, tree comes out of the ground. And there's your stem right here. And then all the different branches. And then those branches are how it's conjugated. And these are your different types of verbs. And then you have your fruit on the end and you're good. So that's why.
the best way to do it.
Huh?
That's the best way to do it.
Absolutely. So that's the reason why I take the lessons the way that I do them, because I want you, if you have your seeds, put your seeds in the ground. Now I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say, okay, now I give you these seeds. I got the aleph seed, I got the shin seed, and I got the hay seed. What happens, you guys, when we put those seeds together, we put it in the ground, it's going to become a sa. You go, oh, I like a sa. I like the way a sa works. Okay, so let's understand how a sa, what it means. And then once I develop it, you'll be able to see it. Like Elohim consists of different letters. We took those letters, planted them in the ground, and all of a sudden the tree comes out and it looks a certain way. So when I think of Elohim, I say, oh, this in particular tree right here is a very powerful tree. Because I can see the images of it. I can see the power, I can see the water, I can see the fire, I can see all these different things. But Elohim's tree is going to be different than the tree from Mayim. It's going to have different characteristics. It's going to have different letters. They might have some letters like they might have in there, like, you know, the
Mayim.
the yod, or, you know, the mem, and
And the mem.
yeah. Yes, exactly. So we'll be able to see that. But what picture am I trying to paint? The picture that we're painting or that we're creating in our mind is to show how the creator has created everything and what his whole purpose is. His purpose is for us to plant, water, growth, development, and go through a process. You don't get to eat almonds just once a year because it never went through a process. You actually got to go through all different types of stages. And so we're just going through the stages together. And then when someone comes to you and they say, well, how do you know this? You'd be like, well, because I started at the bottom. And now that I've started at the bottom, I'm growing. That's all it is. It's not hard. You're just going to grow. You know, we get frustrated because we don't see the results. We want it instant. We want to know everything up front. Y'all's like, no, you're going to go through the same process that everybody else goes through. We're going to go from the bottom all the way up to the top. And all it's going to do is make you stronger. So you'll know even more. So what I would encourage you to do, Akoti, is to say, you know what? I know how to read. You know how to read. And you know how to say words and all that. Now you want to learn the verb system.
Yes.
Yes. And I know, and I get you. So what we're going to do is me and you are going to go back through the process with the rest of the class, and we're going to learn together, and we're going to see some things we've never seen before. And we're going to, you and I are going to continue to grow. We're going to strengthen our root system.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask that question because I always just wanted to know what was the difference to how to use that.
Yeah, you're going to learn. Yeah, you're going to learn the difference. Don't worry.
Okay, no problem. So learning how to read the biblical Hebrew book is one
yes,
of
it's in the email. Yes, I sent it to you.
I have
Yes.
to go back to the email. I didn't see it. Okay, I'll go back.
If you don't find it, or you just lost it, or it's in spam or whatever, just shoot me an email back and tell me that you don't have it, and I'll send it to you.
Okay.
All right.
Mhm.
Well, shalom to everyone. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. I hope this is beneficial to you, and I hope everyone understands what I just said about why we're doing what we're doing. There's a rhyme and there's a reason. You know, there's a method.
It'll all come together.
It'll all come together. Praise the Holy One. Praise the Kadosh One. Hallelujah. Kadosh Shekad. Praise the Kadosh.
Because once you learn a word, instead of saying the English, just use the Hebrew.
Use the Hebrew. Kadosh. Yeah. La Kadosh. That's what it said on Aharon's plate on his head. It said La Kadosh to Yahweh. To La Yahweh. Kadosh to La Yahweh. That means set apart for Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Set apart. Kadosh La Yahweh. Okay. So that's how we're going to talk. So Baruch atah Yahweh Eloheinu Melech haolam asher natan lanu de bikor mikol hamamayim. Thank you, Yahweh, for giving us the Torah. Blessed are you. You're the blessed one, the one of is worthy of esteem and honor and respect. And so we love you and we thank you. Praise the Holy One of Israel. All right.
Hallelujah.
Shabbat shalom.
Hallelujah. Wow. Praise.